Hi everyone, happy Wednesday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David, I'll be one of your co-hosts. We have a absolutely packed show today. We are discussing the fallout of Binance and Coinbase being sued, a massive partnership with Chainlink. We're talking on a global scale. What can this do to Chainlink's price? We're going to discuss that. We also have the Chief Strategy Officer from Layer 1 DeFi protocol, Radix, joining us in about 30 minutes to discuss what is Radix, what are they doing, what are some exciting things in the ecosystem. But before we're going to talk about all that, here is your other host, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, well, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we try to remove the FUD and we try to give you more of the stud. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, we take all the old, boring, and stale information and repackage it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, start this thing off with some like button. Help us out. Get this thing going. Get it started. And Bitcoin, well, it's down a little bit today.
You know what is not down?
What's that?
What's
the internet?
The internet. You know why it's not? Because of channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire technology. If your business is having internet issues, network issues, and you can't seem to fix it, or you just don't have the time, you're going to want to give them a call. They're going to help solve your issues so you can focus on your business. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Now, Bitcoin pumped yesterday. The market's pumped. Today, we're seeing a little pullback, but the biggest pullback has been, one of the biggest pullbacks from Cardano. It's at 32 cents.
Yeah, down over 10% on the week. And
Nobody's.
Let me see where it's actually down 13, almost down 14% in the last 7 days, down 9% today alone. And so Cardano is
freaking Cardanzo.
Front and center, man.
Ever since Jim Cramer called it Cardanzo, it's been tanking. Sounds
like a name in the
Sopranos.
No, I was going to say Seinfeld.
Meet my friend Cardanzo.
Because you have Cadanza, or what was it?
Only Cadanza.
No, not Cadanza.
Right, Rocco? He doesn't know.
Speaking of Rocco, you know, the man comes from the land of pizza, right? And have you ever? First of all, look at this nice cook on a pizza. Do you think this is overcooked, Rocco, or do you think this is a perfect cooked to perfection? What do you think? Do you like a little darkness on the cheese?
It's not darkness.
Anyways, this guy's quote says, "Damn, I'm high. I just ate the cardboard."
The idiot.
He ate the cardboard.
Dude was hungry. I'm just surprised he got through the whole. He was probably assuming it was going to be so burnt and chewy.
Hurt coming out, bro.
Oh man,
that thing. At least it'll like a broom to your colon.
That was a big bite too, man.
Yeah. Speaking of food, speaking of food and animals, because obviously you got to be an animal to eat cardboard. We do have this. Don't mess with dogs because apparently dogs are very scary. The dog is literally hyperventilating, bro.
He was like, "Oh, Big Mac. Oh, okay." He said, "Let me get some of that."
Calm down, little Billy. Then we have this. But so first thing I'm like, all right. I see a cardboard box. I see someone at the register. I see no one there. So I'm assuming guy trying to hide his identity. Something bad's gonna happen, right? Then I was like, something weird like this probably in Florida, and it is in Florida. It's a Florida man was arrested, and so I've seen ski masks, I've seen regular masks, I've seen
pretty bizarre.
I've even seen pantyhose, but I've yet to see a cardboard box used to disguise someone's identity, and then he just lifts it up. Bro, you know that defeats the whole purpose of it. Anyway,
I feel like that's like an outfit on like Fortnite or something.
He must be a Minecraft lover, said Armzilla. And then we have this. Please stop making threats. Here are my top 10 reasons why I can't do that. A threat. You know, I don't know why that was so funny to me. Spider-Man, great movie. Are you the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, or are you like the Tom Holland Spider-Man?
Which one's Tom Holland? Is that the newest one?
Tom Holland? Yeah.
Yeah, I like Tobey Maguire.
Me too. That's the OG Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was a good one.
What is the chat like? Are you guys more the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man or Tom Holland? Put a 1 for Toby, put a 2 for
And
Tom.
then you normally set me up with these right here, so I got one to share as well. So let me know what you think is going to happen on the back end of this clip, and we'll see if you can adequately guess what is going to happen. So you have a lady. What do you think is going to pop up?
Bear.
A bear?
What do I think is going to pop up?
What do you think? A car? Bear?
Somebody tried to steal something.
It's a goose.
That's it.
Dude, okay.
Hey, never undervalue the.
You ever seen geese just like at like funeral homes, or the like, you know, the what is it called, the funeral land where they bury the people? Anyways,
Graveyard?
yeah, the graveyard.
Yeah,
my bad,
okay.
the graveyard. Bro, there's
The
geese.
funeral land.
The geese are just congregating there in groups of like 10 or 20, bro. And I was there one time, and they just like looking, and just run towards you. It's scary, bro. Scary. Looks like we're seeing a lot of Andrew Garfield? I don't know, man. He was okay, but that wasn't an option. Damn it.
I like the cartoon ones. Those are nice. The new ones.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Those
Those are good.
Yeah. Anyways, you know what else is really good when we take a look at the crypto market? So, Robin, go ahead.
All right. So taking a look, we got Bitcoin coming in at $26,509.25. So a little pullback where we were yesterday. Not too much though. We were slightly above 27 for a little brief period of time yesterday. Now at 26.5. And taking a look at what the weekly
That's
looks
got to
like.
be a new pattern, right, Robin?
What is this right here?
Yeah, the little big dip there.
This is just the consolidation pattern, man. It's been boring, bro.
No,
I've been trying to talk to my to the people in the traders, TA guys. I'm like, what the hell have y'all been doing? Because traders like volatility, they like volume, they like price movement, and well, it's been 3 months. We've been in the range between 27 and 30, 26 and 30, really, and so. There's always money to be made. I understand that, but I don't know. Traders, they love their big price movements, and Bitcoin has historically done that. And well, not too much of that
also,
lately.
if you're trading on leverage, even a $200 move, you make some money.
But still, now taking a look at the biggest gainers for the day, stacks up 7.57%.
Dumping money in the stacks.
So really the only thing that's up for the week here, and once again, this is something that we were touching on last week.
Hey, Bitcoin Cash is up. You're just gonna not talk about that?
No, definitely not. So with stacks, obviously, we're seeing utility growing on the Bitcoin network, not only in the traditional JPEG ordinal style, but also with just new tokens. And obviously people are interested in building on the Bitcoin network. And, I've heard plenty of people discussing the fact that, hey, perhaps there's no need for altcoins. I mean, perhaps everything will be built on top of the Bitcoin network. And I don't really believe that, but you know what? There is some truth to an ecosystem, to a possibility of ecosystem being built on the Bitcoin network and it being widely successful. Do I think it's a likelihood or a possibility? I think it's possibility. Likelihood, I'm not too sure. It's obviously not the.
Is it a likely possibility though?
Ooh, here's the thing: the base layer is too slow and a little too expensive, but with layer twos, I mean, we see the progress that Polygon has had. I mean, what's the stop stacks, say a similar alternative to Polygon, but on the Bitcoin network, what's to stop that from growing an ecosystem and making corporate partnerships and being utility? Obviously, your You're leveraging the security of the Bitcoin network, which is arguably, not argued by us, the most secure network. So, yeah, that's what I got there. Biggest loser, Cardano, down massive. So
yeah, just to give you a bit of a better visual here, I got the Bublés. Those on the daily, Stacks and XDC, everything else is in the red, essentially. The Pulse, the Richard Hart ecosystem is down in double digits across the board. The except for Hex is only down 9.5%. As far as the last hour, Stacks leading the way. And then if we zoom out to the week, Lido and Luna Classic and Stacks are in the green. And then if we go out to the month, damn, 81% down on Hex for the month, huh? Render up 17.2%, XRP up 18.8%. Guys, remember, next week, in 7 days, next week's going to be a big week for crypto. It's going to be huge. Got the Hinman emails, CPI number, FOMC meeting. There was one more thing, but I forgot, but I'll come back to it in a second. Also, what's the market sentiment look like? Fear and Greed Index, 53, neutral. It came up from yesterday. It was at 44. So we got back into the fear. Now we're back into neutral. Then we have this. So this was actually at 20,000 this morning, and I'm going to refresh it again. So over the last 7 days, close to 20,000 Bitcoin has left Binance, with 17,700 of that being in the last 24 hours. You know, I saw Flat Smack in here, and I think I saw something on Twitter as well. But apparently, Binance is, you can sell your Bitcoin for over market price. He threw out the number 29K. I haven't personally confirmed it, but I've seen multiple people say something about it. That is true. Is that weird? Like, what's up with that?
You know, Binance doesn't set the price; the order books do. And so, if market makers set the price at launch, and when they also provide liquidity. On Bitcoin, market makers have nothing to do with the price. Especially not on an exchange as big as Binance. And that is strictly 100% just the retail, whether it's whales or institution, but people just buying and selling in real time. That's it.
I don't buy that.
Then to give an explanation, like you see it all the time, and
this is the largest exchange.
But here's the thing, like, okay, we'll pull up a chart on it. I highly doubt the price was up to 29,000 while Bitcoin's at 26, and it traded there for any period of time. You could get a very quick wick up there in price if there was some kind of liquidation event, but it would quickly correct itself. And maybe, you know I've heard people trying to call out you can move the price of Bitcoin and all this, and then you end up talking to the person and they're talking about like wrap Bitcoin on some DEX or something. And so when it comes to Binance, I'm sorry, man, they're not going to be selling for 3,000 more. There's always instances of variations in prices, but those get quickly arbitraged by bots. And so people have it programmed that, hey, if I can buy Bitcoin for 27.5 and then if I could buy Bitcoin for 25.5 on Coinbase, and then I could turn around and sell it 3 minutes later or 5 minutes later on Binance, there's going to be a bot that does that automatically anyways.
Speaking of bots and Bitcoin, I got an email from Listing Research, and there was a BRC20 token minting, and I decided to partake in my first ever. I downloaded the Unisat wallet, I created everything, I sent some Bitcoin in there, and then it got completely botted out in 4 minutes. Not even Forrest was able to do it, and he had 10 wallets set up. And so, you brought up bots, and we're talking about Bitcoin. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, but these people, influential people with a lot of money, they set these bots up and they go in and I'm sure, like Robin mentioned, if it was there for any significant amount of time, just deploy the bots, and they'll scoop up all that Bitcoin and then just make money on the difference.
Yeah, I mean, and And you can look back at history. There has been instances where Sam Bankman-Fried made a lot of his money prior to FTX. What was it? The Hang Seng premium?
Kimchi premium.
Hang Seng. I don't know. One of those Asian words there. So yeah, the kimchi premium, and so you can arbitrage that way. But even then, the margins are pretty tight, and so you need to constantly make transactions over and over again, and you need to buy millions of dollars at a time to see any profit, because you have to cover the trading fees and the transaction fees moving from one wallet to another as well.
Okay. So I got a couple of Bitcoin trusts I want to take a look at. The first one, and we will have Radix here in about 10 minutes. So this is Bitcoin on the hour. I told you this cloud, well, we said the upper end of this cloud was going to provide support for us, but it ended up being, we crossed below the cloud, but look how quickly we came back above. And it looks like now we're starting to make some support on top of the cloud, or at least in that area. Still below the conversion line. We need this conversion line to be above the baseline. Cloud is already green. We saw a massive run up. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green hourly candles in a row for Bitcoin, bringing it from the depths of the lower 26,000s or mid 25,000s back up to above 27K again. So do you think we're going to hover around this 26.6, 26.7 level here for any significant amount of time?
I just don't see it breaking out anytime soon, right? Here's the thing. I think at the local bottom was 25.5, where Bitcoin initially dumped off the Binance lawsuit, and then 30K's extremely strong resistance. And so for that reason, I don't think there's anything that bullish at the moment, barring a black swan event or white swan event like XRP court case settling. I think it's going to take a very big news announcement, or just simply more time for us to break out of this range. I don't think we're going to go under 25, and I don't think we're going to break 30. And so maybe another month, 2 months of this sideways consolidation, or until big news breaks. That's what I think.
Well, the money printer's coming back on. That's good. And then on the Bitcoin daily, I do have some short and long positions here, or short and long levels. And so you can see here at this 9x long level, that's where we got perfect confluence. This is multiple times where we kind of wicked up there. We even closed up there as well. And that level is $28,565. So if we do make a move up and you're in a long position on Bitcoin, you're going to want to set your stop loss just under it. I would set it, and it's not financial advice, I would set it right around 28K flat. Hopefully you don't get, hopefully you won't get stopped out, but that is something you want to do as far as risk management goes, based off of what these levels are telling us. As far as some, and let me drop the long margin pressure levels and use the shorts. So you can see here the 5x short level has been pretty good as far as support. Also, another key one to look at is the 24,840. You can see here twice it's been resistance, and it also comes in right where this it's not a huge volume, but it's a significant amount of volume. So we should see people start picking Bitcoin up if it does get to just a little under 25K. So those are some levels just to keep your eye on for Bitcoin. And then for Cardano, this thing just fell through the roof. We fell through two pretty big volume levels. The first one being at 33.8 cents, well, 34.3, and then 33.8 cents. Where we headed to next, I do have a horizontal line drawn here, which is right at 30.6 cents flat. It's a nice round number. We also saw when Cardano had that massive drawdown. This is going back to February of this year, where it drew down 30%. That is where it settled and started going back up and making a new swing high, which was right at about 45 cents. So if Cardano does get to that level, I will be entering a long position in a Cardano. We just don't know yet. We don't know yet. It did get delisted on Robinhood. And so it was in both of the lawsuits, the Binance and the Coinbase lawsuit, where the SEC said that it was a security. So, a couple things to keep an eye on. It kind of looks like a big head and shoulders too. All right. That'll do it for the market today. Let's take a quick peek at give you an update on what's going on with Binance. The SEC has asked for an emergency order to freeze Binance US assets anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. So a couple things, okay? Not spread FUD, okay? But if you have money on Binance.us, I would just take the money out of there. If they're solvent, it's not going to be an issue. It won't matter because it's going to get frozen. But what happens if your money's on there and you don't get it out in time and the government comes in and grants this emergency stay for the SEC to freeze their assets? Well, they are asking a judge to freeze the assets, but to repatriate both fiat and crypto, which just means to give back. So they're saying freeze the assets, give it back to the people. Don't let them do business here. I want to kind of say if the judge grants this, I think Binance.us is done. I don't think you're going to see Binance here in the US. And honestly, if I'm CZ, I really wouldn't want to, man. But would you? If you were CZ and you got to spend all this money and all this time when you can go to Dubai or the UAE or any other country, UK, EU, and there's some regulatory clarity, why would you want to spend time, money, and resources here in America when you're not even the biggest exchange, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, Binance.us for US customers, that is a big exchange. I don't know if they're number 2, but they got to be top 3, right? It's got to be. I mean, just if you took the exchanges that are operated here in the US as far as volume, it's got to be Coinbase and Binance, right?
We got Gemini, you got KuCoin.
So you think? No, what I'm saying is that those don't do more volume than Binance.us. Now, Binance, the parent company, they're they're the leader, but here in the States, it's still a lot of users, man. It's a lot of money. And I'm not saying that here's the thing. I think they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep Binance.us running. And if that means only listing Bitcoin and Ethereum and Binance Cash and a couple other ones that, Coinbase is the largest. Yeah, I just don't know where Binance falls. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So,
I spoke on a Twitter space yesterday, and David Lin asked a question. What happens? Is Binance going to go under? What's going to happen to crypto markets? For me, I don't think because you got to remember the SEC case is civil, right? They can't send anyone to jail. They can't, no criminal charges. Okay. So I don't think that's going to change anything as far as Binance. So top ranked by volume.
Yeah, that's global. We're looking for US.
Yeah. Let's see if they have it. Oh yeah. Okay. Either way, for me, it's Binance. The hell was I saying? Oh, the civil suit. I don't think the Asian markets or the Middle Eastern markets really care what the US SEC has to say. And we've seen evidence of that in places like Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. The same week that the SEC comes out and says these 7 cryptocurrencies are securities, they've gone on the back end and said, yeah, you can trade these same 7 tokens. So I don't think they care about that. What I do think matters is if the DOJ comes in and files a criminal lawsuit against Binance or against CZ, saying he manipulates the markets, commingling of customer funds, whatever the case may be, if he's essentially portrayed as a con man, at that point, I think we can see an FTX style debacle happen, because at that point,
what do you mean by debacle?
The markets start to catch on fire.
Off of what? Off of criminal charges from DOJ?
If it's made known,
they've already. We saw the price movement from a SEC lawsuit.
That's the SEC.
Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying. But
so the SEC, no one cares.
He doesn't live in the U.S. He's not going to go see any time or any jail or anything. Like, it doesn't. I don't understand why a criminal lawsuit would change anything as far as the price of Bitcoin in the markets.
Binance is the largest exchange in the world.
Yes.
If it comes out that CZ was commingling customer funds or doing some shady things, then people lose trust in CZ. They're going to pull their money off Binance. Same thing happened with FTX.
I think we are fatigued. I think that people
you don't
already
get fatigued when the number one exchange goes down.
People have already. If you were leaving and selling your Bitcoin because you don't trust the exchanges, that has already happened. And so if all of a sudden you find out that, hey, Binance.us and Binance.com, their assets are intermingled, so? And any charges that the DOJ comes out with, I think are going to be dismissed as the U.S. just trying to shut down Binance. I don't think anybody's going to take it seriously. In the same way that I wouldn't take it. If the DOJ said, hey, CZ's charged with this, this, and this, we'll talk about it during the show. I'm not gonna all of a sudden be like, oh my God, I thought Binance was this huge hero and savior. Like, no. All these exchanges operate as a business trying to profit off of trading fees, and they're also making money in other ways as well, with their market makers, through liquidation, through there's tons of avenues where they make money. And well, you know what? Some of it isn't the sexiest way of doing it. Do they do wash trading? Sure. Does everybody do wash trading? Probably. And could he face charges? I could see it. Yeah, why not? But is it gonna all of a sudden turn the market down? No, everyone's already used to this. We saw Bitcoin go from 27 to 25.5. 24 hours later, it had already bounced back up to 26.5. All for the SEC news. And so if all of a sudden you got some criminal charges, I mean, how much is it going to sell off? I mean, what do you think, David? Like, what is the doomsday scenario? You think you're going back down to 15,000?
I don't know, man.
Off of criminal charges from the U.S. to a man that lives in Asia that doesn't even operate.
Smells like FT.
There's nothing. I don't know. That's the one thing I don't get is FTX and Binance way different. FTX was taking people's money and then spending it, and then replacing the losses with their own FTX token. They took FTT token. They're like, hey, we'll buy some Bitcoin, we'll custody it, and then hey, we're gonna actually use that for our own trading and for whatever else. And then from that point forward, the money that we're gonna fill the gap with our own token. That was just fraud from top to bottom. Binance ain't doing that. I'm sorry, they're not. They're not. Now, are they guilty of commingling and operating one business with another? And sure, yeah, I'm sure they got a hand in that. But they are vastly different. FTX and Binance, nothing the same there. Not on the most egregious way.
Yeah, we just got breaking news. The U.S. courts have summoned CZ. So,
no. There it is. Markets are crashing, right?
That's not the point.
Well, I'm saying if he got summoned by U.S. courts.
Summoned. He didn't get charged. There's a difference.
Okay, so when he gets charged, so if he gets summoned to court, who got summoned to court before they got charged?
If shit comes out like it did with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and what he was doing, right?
That's what I'm saying. He's not going to. Sam Bankman-Fried was a straight up fraud. CZ is running a business that doesn't line up with the values of American economics. That's all it is. You know what? If you're going to be a publicly traded company in the U.S., you need to have disclosures and you need to have all these protection in for your investors. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't have it, but I'm just saying that there needs to be a framework. If you're a publicly traded company in the States, there needs to be a framework for that. And his business, which doesn't cater to U.S. businesses or U.S. clients, isn't structured in a way that appeases the U.S. And so if you were to say your business doesn't line up with securities laws, sure, you can charge them for that. I understand that. But what you're saying is that he ain't going to get charges like Sam Bankman-Fried. He's not going to get the same fraud charges unless there's something going on behind the scenes of this giant conspiracy, which could be. I mean, who knows? But I just find it highly unlikely.
If there's anyone to try to connect those dots, it's going to be the DOJ. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
They
that
don't
he's
even, he doesn't operate, the DOJ doesn't even operate in Asia. So if anybody's going to find out the shady behavior that's going on in Asia, it's not going to be the Department of the United States, the Justice Department. It's not.
So how do they file charges
It's like saying
Interpol.
It's like saying Interpol just broke the biggest case on casino gambling in Vegas.
Guy, then how do they file charges against Do Kwon?
I am not saying that they don't charge people overseas, but that those investigations are done by people abroad, and then
if they find that you or your company committed fraud here in the U.S., they can 100% charge you, and they can try to extradite you. It's up to the other country if they want to do that or not. But that's where we are. But let's move forward from this topic of conversation. We're talking about if, ands, or buts here, okay? Either way, if the crypto markets crash and nothing's changed, guess what? What we do is we buy. Now, some of the fallout, Robinhood to delist tokens named in the SEC lawsuit against Binance and Coinbase. This includes Solana, Polygon, and Cardano. Now, like Robinhood, hate Robinhood, or love Robinhood, they are pretty big when it comes to retail. They are the platform that your average investor who knows almost next to nothing about crypto or any stocks goes on because it's extremely user-friendly. It's not confusing. There's no advanced this or that. It's like, click here to buy, don't pay any fees, and that's all you have to do. And they've delisted, you can argue, 3 of the 5 largest networks in the crypto ecosystem. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's the ones that, those are the projects that were listed on
both,
right?
Correct.
Binance and the Coinbase lawsuits.
Yep. Soldano.
I mean, not surprised. Here's the thing. Robinhood, if I was running Robinhood, it might be the best move at this point in time, right?
Yeah.
If you have a bunch of users that are trading stocks, and even right now, I mean, how much volume is crypto compared to stocks on Robinhood? Because Robinhood was the go-to place for Shiba Inu, remember?
Yep.
And if you're not trading crypto, you're trading stocks, and you're getting threatened to shut down your whole business. Here's the thing: you think Robinhood got hit with a Wells notice?
Ooh.
What do you think?
That's an intriguing question.
I bet you they did.
You think so?
Yeah.
I
bet you they got issued a Wells notice. Coinbase got one. Binance got one. Remember, I think there was rumors that every exchange that operates in the U.S. got hit with a Wells notice. That was kind of like a buzz thing about, what was it, like 2 months ago? Yep. It was like some high profile Twitter account. I don't remember who it was. It was like, hey, everybody got served a Wells notice. I think it was a day or two later, we heard that Coinbase got, officially came out and said, yeah, we were served a Wells notice. We were going to fight. And then it's no coincidence that Coinbase and Binance both got charged within the 24-hour period. So it's safe to conclude that Binance probably got issued a Wells notice beforehand. And hey, if you're Robinhood and you got issued a Wells notice at the same time that these other exchanges did, you see what happened to Coinbase, you see what happened to Binance. If you operate an exchange, majority of your profits are coming from trading fees off of stocks, and minority of it is coming from crypto. That's a no-brainer, right? You take them off and you protect the business. I mean, I'm crypto through and through, but I'm just saying that if I was a CEO of a business and I have people that are relying upon me, and I have hundreds and or thousands of employees, and my business started by offering stocks, and then later on I offered crypto services, I think it might be a good time to ratchet that back if I was in that position. But I don't know. Real quick, I do want to give a little love to the chat. If you are new here, say hello so I can drop an hola back at you. Some of our new people I have Zach Ooh, Isaiah 216, Ivan Hernandez, Alki Swap, Matt K, Greg Page Turner, Damn Son, Ralphie, Jalen Sebastian, and Digital Asset Degen. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Ralphie said just move out of the USA, problem solved.
Yeah,
Where would we move? Portugal?
I like Portugal. I think
What about
Portugal.
Italy?
I don't know. No.
If I'm going to get laughed at for eating barbecue
Hey,
pizza,
here-
I don't want to move there.
If I think Portugal's pretty crypto friendly and it's cheap there, and so they use the euro, and euro goes a long way in Portugal. Let's put it that way.
So does Bitcoin, apparently. So moving away from Binance. Well, actually, before we move away from Binance, so these are some of the advanced trading pairs that are being delisted from Binance starting on June 8th. So tomorrow. I mean, this is a absolutely massive list. You have 1inch, Aave, Alice, Alpine. I mean, you just go through the list. ApeCoin, Caesars Las Vegas, CLV. Just kidding. Cadi. I mean, you have massive amounts of tokens being delisted. That's just USDT pairs. You also have some Bitcoin pairs that include Cosmos, Bitcoin Cash, Polkadot, Decentraland. You also have BUSD pairs, which they were already doing that anyways, Hedera and Harmony One. So this is, again, guys, Binance.US, not Binance. Okay, Binance is fine. And to what we know, Binance, they're not liquid. They're solvent. They're solvent. They have money in the bank. They have enough money. I mean, we saw what Binance went through when the FTX saga happened, right? We saw a mass run on the reserves, and Binance was completely fine. Everything worked perfectly fine. They even dropped their trading fees to have more people come on their platform, onboard more people. They have recently cut those. But again, I always like to err on the side of caution, okay? You never know what is going on in the background, whether it's CZ, whether it's Brian Armstrong, anyone that plays a middle part, right? Whether it's a centralized entity, a centralized authority, someone, something in exchange, it doesn't matter. You just don't know, right? We don't know. And so we always err on the side of caution. That's why we say don't leave your money on exchanges, whether it's Binance, Coinbase, whatever the case may be. So just proceed with caution, right? We know the US is after, and I guess apparently former Binance US CEO, forgot their name, but he or she has been participating and helping out the DOJ and the SEC. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, we know there's headhunting going on at the SEC. Their target now is CZ and Binance. Just proceed with caution. You never know how the markets are going to react. Have some dry powder on the side, because like I say, if prices bottom out or prices dip, we know why it happened. We still believe in it.
Do you think we might, doomsday scenario, get into an environment where here in the States, it just, say 2 years from now, in the United States, you KYC onto an exchange, pick one of 10 exchanges here in the United States, and you can only buy Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Man, you know what, bro? I don't want to say anything's out of the question, but I mean,
here, if for example, let's just say the Ripple court case, and don't be getting all freaking out on me, people over here, but let's just say, hypothetically, let's just say the SEC were to win the court case, right?
Nah.
They deem XRP a security, and then on top of that, Binance settles and admits wrongdoing just so they don't go through the court case. And then Coinbase goes through this long process and they initially get deemed or found guilty of selling securities. And then they're appealing through the Supreme Court. If that were to happen, which it's not that far-fetched, it's actually a real possibility. If that were to happen, I mean, US, I think only Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Only things that are clearly not labeled securities.
I don't even know if I put Ethereum in there, right?
Well, they left them out of the both of the
Yeah,
both
but
of the lawsuits.
they've also not left him out in previous ones.
Well, they haven't spoken on Ethereum. They have yet to speak on Ethereum being a security.
I'm pretty sure.
In even the SEC, the Hinman, the prior administration on the SEC said, "Hey, it's sufficiently decentralized," and so I don't think that's in the crosshairs of the SEC. I think the SEC is using the vague situation that is Ethereum, and maybe they've rethought what Ethereum is now that it moved from proof of work to proof of stake. But I mean, I don't know, man. So just a thought.
I want to take a break from doom and gloom, and I want to bring some bullish news. Man, what a massive partnership this was. Banks can 10x the blockchain industry, says Chainlink co-founder Sergey Nazarov. This is from Blockworks. The Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications, which is also known as SWIFT, on Tuesday announced a collab between major banks and Web3 infrastructure provider Chainlink to trial connecting private and public permissionless blockchains. To facilitate this expansion, SWIFT will utilize Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol, also known as the CCIP. More institutions are beginning to explore how to serve customers on both permissioned and public blockchain networks like Ethereum, said the head of security strategy at SWIFT. Now, the collab include some of the biggest banks in the world: BNB Paribas, BNY Mellon, Citibank, Euroclear. So Chainlink will be providing what Swift calls an enterprise account abstraction layer. Sergey said he thinks the asset tokenization trend is being embraced by banks and financial market infrastructure institutions alike, which has the potential to 10x the blockchain industry size. So, Robin, man, thoughts on this?
Well, how much money has left banks? And how much money is going to come back to the banks when they are the main player in crypto? That seems like the direction we're going, right? Because the problem is with the SEC is claiming that these exchanges are operating as banks. That's been kind of the whole thing, right? Like you're supposed to be they're trying to define what a broker is. A broker dealer, and they're saying, you're a custodial agent. And I think this is inevitable, right? At least here in the States, because the people with the most money are going to want to make the most money. And if there's money to be made in crypto, they're going to make money in crypto. That's it.
Go where the money goes.
Yeah. And so if you're in tech and all of a sudden all of the tech goes to digital download and streaming, that's where you're going to go. If you're in finance and money is leaving your accounts and they're going to a digital version somewhere else, you're going to take advantage of that as well. You're going to offer services there. The smartest people in the room, the biggest players, the people that make the most money are going to follow where the money goes, and crypto is no exception. I think right now what we're doing is the banks are trying to keep the business model that they have and not break it because, you know what, they're making money. Why change it? And so they see something disruptive like crypto coming in and they're attacking it. They're putting money in politicians' back pockets. They're funding certain individuals at different departments like the SEC. And they have an agenda that they're trying to fulfill for their interested parties, which are the banks, right?
Yep.
So I don't know.
But I mean, how undervalued is Chainlink right now? Sitting at under $6, right? Just under $6. They are the engine that powers smart contracts. They are the gold standard in that field. They just introduced staking. They're bringing more utility to their token. The tokenomics are. I'm just gonna pull it up right now. Let's take a look at the tokenomics of Chainlink here real quick.
And then, guys, if you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. I got a couple new people. I've seen Crypto Outcast, OMFG with a bunch of letters, David FP as well. And to all of you, Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, do us a favor, hit that like button. Let's get this thing going. And
Can you decipher what that means?
what's that?
OMFGWT. It's
It's
oh
a
my
lot of words.
effing god, what the F? Barbecue, rolling on floor, laughing my effing A.
And then also let's get it's a little quiet in the chat. Let's get this thing going. I'm gonna drop an Ola in the chat. Let's get an Ola train going. We got over 200 people watching. See if we can't get over 200 Olas. And why aren't we at 50% like ratio?
Unacceptable.
What's going on, guys?
Links. Now that Chainlinks works with the banks, it's gonna get the same FUD like XRP.
Well, here's the thing. If banks are going to operate in a digital currency space, right? You could talk about CBDCs. You can talk about stable coins. I don't think that stable coins make sense for banks, right? It's dollar just in a digital form, privatized. And at some point, that is going to be picked up by the banking sector. There's just a lot of pushback from the regulators on integrating stable coins and banks. At some point, that merge is going to happen. And when that does, you are going to need a Oracle. You're going to need data to come in to verify smart contracts. Because remember, these stable coins are not built on the Bitcoin network. They're built on layer one smart contract platforms that are actively using smart contracts on a day-to-day basis. And so if you want those services, if you want to provide those services, you're going to have an Oracle. And obviously Chainlink makes a lot of sense. So for the use case of the financial sector moving forward, you can pretty much pencil in a lot of utility for Chainlink. And for Chainlink being as small as it is, extremely undervalued, hey man, something that should not be dismissed. It would be like, if you're here in the States, you might know what I mean. It'd be like if you know anything about networking or computers or servers, you know that the biggest player in that space is Cisco Systems. They provide the networking infrastructure for all of the internet here in the States, or at least majority of it. And for that reason, it might not be a daily household name that everybody knows and everybody loves, or everyone's, that retail is using, but they build the infrastructure. They provide the framework. And Chainlink might not be used by me and you. We might not be buying NFTs on it or doing some kind of cool DeFi, but it is going to be an integral part of crypto that is pretty much tied in everywhere.
Everywhere.
And so for that reason, it might be one of the most solid
It's just not sexy.
projects to get
That's what
into.
it is.
Exactly.
It's not sexy.
It's not sexy to the average retail user because they're not built for that individual.
It's got a very low. I mean, you want to talk about investment, okay? Very, very low supply. Only 1 billion total tokens, which 51% of that is currently circulating. It's currently sitting at a 3 billion market cap, 6 billion fully diluted, but its all-time high market cap is 22 billion. So you're looking at a 7x just to get to last bull market highs. But we know that $22 billion, if we believe, and if you believe, that smart contracts and blockchain are truly going to revolutionize the traditional system we have in place now, 22 billion is nothing. If you have companies and banks and governments that are using smart contracts, you're going to need a data aggregator like Chainlink. And for you to use a network, you have to be a node operator, or you need node operators, or they need to make money. And how do they do that? With the Link token. You can also stake it to help secure the network. We saw companies do this with Ethereum. We saw a company do this with Solana. Any company or with Polygon as well, any company that is deciding to use a certain network, they're probably going to want to help secure that network and make money on top of it. So add that in. I mean, is a $200-300 billion market cap for Chainlink out of the question in the next 5 to 8 years? That was a question, Robin.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the price targets. I just know it performed very well last
Got the
bear
$52.
market. Yeah, going into the last bull market, it performed very well, and then it slowed down quite significantly in the bull market. And so a lot of people saw the movement in Chainlink. They tried to hop on that train, and it just didn't really perform as well as some other projects did during the bull market. And I think you might see something similar there. I think that because retail doesn't pile in on Chainlink, because
Not sexy.
yeah, the thing is how their utility comes from institutions, right? And other projects.
Is that even more bullish for like
No,
massive...
it is. But what I'm saying is that you're not going to onboard a bunch of companies at the same time, and all of a sudden the price rally like crazy. And so my thesis here is that a lot of our viewers are impatient. They want to invest now and be a millionaire within 6 months to a year. And I just think that you're going to get a slow, steady growth from Chainlink that is going to be outperformed by a lot of altcoins. Not saying that it's bad or good. I'm just saying that realistically, crypto investors, retail, impatient, they want gains in the short term. Chainlink is just going to just chug along and just keep growing and have less sell-off in the bear markets, and also not go quite as parabolic as some of the other ones in the bull markets. But do I think it's a great project? Absolutely. I think it's something you should be DCing, or at least I am. Not financial advice. One of the assets. I think you should have Bitcoin. You should have Ethereum. Should have a couple layer ones that are competitors to Ethereum. If say the ecosystem starts or community starts to move somewhere else because of, say, transaction speeds or whatever it may be. And then I think you should have a DeFi play and Oracle. Diversified portfolio and top projects in each one of those sectors is a no-brainer. Should have some, if you want to take some risk, maybe a smaller allocation of your portfolio, but I mean, I don't know. That's where I stand. I mean, there are a handful of projects I'm looking at. Chainlink's in that basket. So,
amen to that, brother. Brother Robin. Now,
thank you, Pastor David.
Yes, sir.
Nostradamus has spoken.
Pastradamus.
Pastradamus.
All right. I want to. So I saw this tweet yesterday. Okay. And I'm curious the implications. I'm Brad Mills. The SEC is ordering Coinbase to stop offering their ETH staking product. How long would it take Coinbase to get their 2.3 million ETH? Not
this
dollars.
This is good. I didn't even think
Tokens.
about this.
Back once they enter the exit queue. If this action forces Coinbase to give customers ETH right away while they unwind the staking product, this could be the reason ETH price is holding up. ETH did not go under $1,800. When Bitcoin crashed from 28 to 25, I'm using round numbers here, ETH kind of stayed steady, man. ETH stayed steady, stayed over $1,800. Coinbase could have to buy billions of dollars worth of ETH to give it to their customers if they are being forced to why can I not say that word? Expedently. How do you say that word, Robin? Say that word for me.
Expedite.
Yeah. Being forced to expeditedly unwind the staking program faster than the contract allows. 1, is Coinbase being forced to give their customers their ETH back right away? 2, how much of the 2 million ETH is customer ETH? How long would it take Coinbase to unstake? And a better question, what does that do for the ETH network? A lot to uncover here. Robin, break this down for us.
I didn't even think about this.
I didn't think about it either.
Wait, I mean, here's the thing, dude.
What's the thing?
Is that the SEC
Won't let me
warned Coinbase not to offer any staking services. They said, we will sue you. And in suing them, there are actions that they can take, like, hey, you need to give those funds back. You need to immediately unstake. They had to know this was a possibility, right? When you went to stake 2 million Ethereum and you had just filed an inquiry with
But
the
Rob,
SEC
but Rob,
saying, hey, we're going to offer staking. And the SEC comes back
But Robin,
immediately and says, we will sue you.
to be fair, Robin, a lot of that ETH was staked prior to that. I remember
The unlock
2020
has already passed.
I get that, but I'm saying in 2020 is when
What I'm saying is that if you're running a business, you're publicly traded, you have shareholders, there's a lot going on, you've been clearly told you're going to get sued if you offer the staking services, and then you get sued for offering staking services, and now you're like, well, what are you going to do if you're forced to sell? Like, bro, like you had to thought this was a possibility. That's all I'm saying is like at some point somebody in the boardroom had to been like, hey man, we asked the SEC if we could stake, and they said no, we're staking. Has anybody thought about what would happen if they sued us and they told us we can't stake? Like, it seems like a no-brainer, right? If you get kicked out of the casino for being degenerate and they say, don't come back in here, next thing you know, you're in there with a mustache trying to gamble and you get kicked out again and they don't let you cash out your ticket at the machine, like, that's your own problem, bro.
So you're saying this is Coinbase's fault?
I'm just saying Coinbase had to and had to. And if they didn't, it's just grossly negligent. And Coinbase had to understand that offering staking after being told they were going to do so, they would get sued. They had to have known that there might be consequences to that, which could lead up to the fact that, hey, you need to unstake your stuff and give it back to people that are staking.
Man, this could be
If the dentist tells you not to eat sugar because your teeth are falling out and you eat sugar and your teeth fall out, you got to have known that that was a possibility.
you leave my teeth out of it.
Why were you assuming I'm talking about your teeth?
Because
He's in a lot of sugar.
what does that do to the network security?
And the network will be fine. Ethereum will be fine. Ethereum's been around for 8 years now. All right, it'll be fine. If there's a forced sell event, first of all, Coinbase has enough people that they can buy over the counter, so they're gonna get their ETH over the counter, sell and buy. So I don't think it's gonna be a giant sell pressure on order books. With that said, I mean, you know the headlines. Coinbase forced to sell 2.5 million Ethereum.
Of course.
That everyone's going to freak out.
Freak out.
Bye.
I want to share this. I've been sitting on this for 2-3 days, but obviously with everything going on, I think it's important. I think it's important to help people understand with all this FUD going around and the US government trying to shut us down, there is still massive amounts of money and resources being poured into our industry. It just doesn't get reported. Okay? $1.5 trillion asset manager Franklin Templeton bets big on Bitcoin. Robin met this company in Bitcoin Miami. And what I can remember from what Robin told me is these guys were so excited to be there. They were so excited to be there, and it makes sense because they're betting big on this. Franklin Templeton, one of the world's largest asset managers with over 1.5 trillion in assets under management, plans to invest heavily in Bitcoin as well as its underlying technology. Discussing how Franklin Templeton entered the digital asset space, Call explained, which Call is Sandy Call, the senior vice president of Franklin Templeton's crypto business, explained that the company was intrigued by the technology behind Bitcoin and had decided to experiment on blockchain to bring operational efficiency and cost savings for its businesses. As such, the company commenced research on individual coins, created multi-coin portfolios, and even invested in various crypto firms through a dedicated venture capital fund created in 2021. And Franklin Templeton operates its node operations. So they operate nodes on Bitcoin. Says, I think one of the issues we have right now is that people fixate too much on just Bitcoin and oftentimes think about the broader ecosystem. Bitcoin is a huge innovation and we think it's going to have massive opportunities in the future. According to her, institutions prefer to enter the market when prices are low and the sector is not in the spotlight. So, Robin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so as you kind of preferenced when we first came in, big presence in consensus and also big presence in Bitcoin Miami, and so I was surprised to see them there, such a big name, but at the same time, not surprised, right? Because we've heard that these giant financial players are making headwind into crypto. Makes sense, and so. I don't know. I mean, close eye, and we're in communications. Little teaser there. We're in communications, and so I'm excited about that. So,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
Is it time
Where are the crickets?
for what? I think we got Adam patched in now. We were gonna bring him on a little earlier, having a little technical difficulties, but. Yeah, Rocco, you want to patch him in?
Adam, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me on the show tonight.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Thank you for joining us. Adam is the Chief Strategy Officer for Radix, a Layer 1 DeFi protocol. Can you tell us a little bit about Radix, what it does, what problems it solved, and give us a little background about yourself?
Yeah, so Radix is, as you say, a layer one smart contract platform. So similar to other smart contract platforms like Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Sui. The big difference with Radix is that we really started with the end goal in mind of what really is required for Web3 and DeFi to go mainstream. And so just over 10 years ago now, amazingly, our founder really got bitten by the Bitcoin bug and was like, we need to solve not just the simple problems, not just the next problem, but everything from a radically better user experience, developer experience, and scalability that can actually serve billions of people and trillions of dollars of assets. And that's where we've got to today.
Awesome. I had an intriguing question, right? So a lot of these DeFi protocols, take a look at something like Aave or Compound, they build on top of a network that's already there, like Ethereum. Why did you guys decide to just be your own layer one versus build on top of something like Ethereum, who's already established, who's secure, who's a well-known name? Why that decision?
So it's a really good question. The analogy I love using for things like this is the approach that, say, someone like Tesla took to the electric car. So before Tesla became popular, electric cars existed. They just weren't very desirable. And actually, one of the first steps that Tesla took was taking an existing car, and it was a Lotus Elise, I believe, and just stripping out the combustion engine, putting in batteries and electric motors, and it had major difficulties. And they had to start from the ground up because actually it wasn't just necessarily the car. There was a lot of other pieces required to make this something that's not only practical, but desirable and usable for real people in the real world. And so what we found is when we looked at things like Ethereum, even if you solve the scalability problem, which people still haven't today with layer twos, was that actually the developer experience really sucks. It's hard. There's only a handful of developers proportionally out of the talent worldwide who are talented enough to be able to code production grade apps. And even with those developers already in the space, we see billions of dollars of hacks every single year. And then on the user side, we have user experiences where like you've got to have a seed phrase, which you've got to cut up into 3 different pieces, store in 3 different volcanoes. And if it ever gets lost or stolen, all your money's gone. Or you have to sign transactions, which is just a random string of letters and numbers as a hash. And you have no idea whether you're signing away or to a good contract or to a malicious contract. Now, many of these problems are really hard to solve by just tacking something on. You have to actually solve them at a root level because it's not a case of things like blind signing being the people over at MetaMask going, hey, we think this is a great interface. It's because that's what the Ethereum network surfaces to them. So many of these things that you see as like an intuitive problem actually require fixing much lower down in the stack, and is what's led to our approach of having to really re-engineer every layer of that stack to work seamlessly together to create the experience that our friends, our family, and really the rest of the world needs to be able to adopt this incredible technology.
For me, what got me excited about a layer one DeFi is, with DeFi we have have all these bridges, and there's more points of failure when you're essentially a layer 2 on top of layer 1. When you're a layer 1, it's for the most part direct. And so when I saw that, and we were down in Atlanta, and one of the guys in BitBoy Studio was like gleaming about Radix, and I was like, okay. And then I started looking into it. I was like, man, this is layer one DeFi. You don't really see that, so that's kind of what got me excited. I want to ask you about the partnership with Layer Zero. Can you expand on that a little bit? Why was that so important for you guys, and how is it going to help Radix moving forward?
Yeah, so Layer Zero, for those of you who don't know, is all about interoperability between chains. So even though we are a layer one, our goal is obviously to onboard everyone onto our network in the long term. In the short, mid, and probably a bit beyond that term, we're going to live in a multi-chain world. Ultimately, things like Ethereum aren't going to disappear. There's tons of other great innovation in the space of people trying to solve really hard problems in many different ways. And so while we live in this multi-chain world, interoperability between those chains is going to be really important. So an integration with Layer Zero is a really effective way to be able to allow assets and information to move between different chains, to really create an experience that ultimately becomes more seamless for users as we expand that entire horizon of what the industry is doing in all of these different environments.
And then I know since we're kind of on the subject of DeFi, I think some of the biggest critique for DeFi, especially for new users, is complexity or kind of the learning curve. And if you mess up in DeFi, we obviously know that phones are a lot of times gone forever. And so, are you guys working on anything, or do you have some partners? Because I know from seeing you guys at both Consensus and or when I saw you at Consensus, you had a lot of different companies building and partnering with you. I think I talked to Hermes Protocol, but are you guys developing more of that user-friendly interface? I know you mentioned users a couple times, and because I think the biggest stigma, at least for the people that I'm trying to explain DeFi to, is that it can be risky and it's kind of hard to learn. Are you guys doing anything to address that?
Definitely. So our next upgrade is the Babylon mainnet, which is happening on July 31st this year. It's when all the stuff we've been building over the last couple of years goes live on our mainnet to bring smart contracts and also our new wallet experience. So the new Radix wallet is a mobile-first experience and has been engineered really to solve many of these user pain points. So the first being, with the Radix wallet, you actually get a clear view of what assets are going to be involved in a transaction. And that's not some custom integration between the wallet and an application. It is just what the network surfaces, because on Radix, assets are native to the network. So when you approve a transaction in the new Radix wallet, you literally see like X amount of this token will leave your account, it will go through this DApp, and you expect to get back token B of this amount. You can also set guarantees, so like slippage protection or things like that, directly within within the wallet application that is enforced by the network, not at the application layer. So as a user, when you actually click approve that transaction, you can be confident that what you're seeing is actually going to happen. The other piece as well is on things like account recovery. So one of the big problems with account recovery, whenever I try and onboard people into crypto, is like, hey, you need to have either like everything to your seed phrase or get a hardware wallet. You've got to back that up. You need to have recoveries of that. Don't ever lose your seed phrase, because billions of dollars are being lost as a result of people either losing their seed phrase or having it exploited. And the Radix wallet and the Radix network help solve that by having truly decentralized account recovery. So you can have things like social recovery, multi-device recovery, multi-factor recovery of your account. So if you don't want to be completely reliant on a seed phrase, there's other ways of doing that, and doing it in a way where you don't have to compromise on things like decentralization by trusting a centralized entity or limiting the amount of security you've got over your assets. And so in practical terms, this really means that you see things happen in crypto today. Like a few months ago, there was a really good or really bad example actually of an experienced crypto user who was thinking they were swapping an NFT, approved the transaction, and all of their NFT collection, about $2 million worth, disappeared. And the response from some people in crypto was like, oh, well, you should never have done it with your main wallet. You should have transferred that one NFT you wanted to a hot wallet in case something like that happened. And that's like more steps to try and solve something that, let's be honest, our friends, our family are not going to take those steps because humans like the path of most convenience. But to the same degree on Radix, that would never happen, because as that transaction was generated, you'd see like, oh, this NFT is going to get sent, so are all of my other ones, and you're going to get nothing back. Do you want to approve that transaction? Right. And I'm pretty sure that most people would be like, no, I'm not going to approve that transaction. Whereas if the transaction that's displayed in the Radix wallet says, NFT 1 is going out and you're going to get back X amount of whatever token, and you click approve, you know no other NFTs are going to leave your wallet because the actual Radix engine, the execution environment enforces that. And this is one of the problems of trying to tack on to existing networks, for example, is you may identify the problem, but the network itself at a lower level may not have the capacity or capabilities to be able to allow you to solve that in an elegant way. And so again, a simple analogy for this is look at the Wright brothers' first plane. It was incredible. It pioneered flight. I don't fly over to America by getting on a plane that looks like one of the Wright brothers with a jet engine strapped onto it. There's actually 1,000 innovations that came. Never tried it. I don't think it'd work very well. Maybe for the first second it'd be quite exciting, but and that's the point, is you can't just tack things on or bolt extra bits on, let alone that in reality with a DLT, with its immutable nature and live nature, that it's not just bolting a jet engine on, it's bolting it on while the plane's already in flight. So this is why we took the approach of Radix of really solving for the long term, solving for things that make this usable, not just for the people here today, which is an incredible minority of the world user base, but something that means that I can tell one of my friends, my family members, hey, go and get started with Web3, go get started with DeFi, and I won't expect to have to spend 3 hours sat next to them telling them of all the pitfalls or what to watch out for, because it'll be just as intuitive as the best Web2 application, but still giving them all the power that Web3 offers.
You know, there's the word DeFi gets thrown around so much, and decentralization. There are very few that are truly decentralized. And when you're sitting here explaining how to recover your account through a truly decentralized format, and all I think about is Ledger, and I'm thinking like, did you not speak to Ledger? Maybe you should have before this. But you know, another thing you hit on that I think is extremely important is breaking the barrier to entry down to the average user. Like, we can't confuse people. Like you said, say, if you truly want to be safe, you got to do this and set up this wallet and write down this seed phrase. And like, people, you start explaining that to someone who's excited about getting DeFi, and they're like, okay, never mind. This is way too much. People pay, and people are drawn to what's convenient and easy to understand. People are so busy nowadays. They don't have time to sit down and go play around with this network and do this and download this wallet. So I think it's extremely important what you guys are doing, and I hope you will continue to do that. And I want to ask you, are there any exciting partnerships or exciting things in the pipeline for Radix? Maybe some alpha you can share with us that people just don't know yet.
So the big one, of course, is the Radix DeFi ecosystem goes live starting from July 31st. So over the last year, we've been working with developers in the developer community to take our programming language, our execution environment through early access, then into AlphaNet, BetaNet. It's currently on the release candidate. Our Radix wallet we first showed off at our keynote in December. All of those things go live on the Radix mainnet on July 31st this year. So that's really the starting gun, where as a user, you can come and actually start playing with things on the network. As a developer, you can start deploying smart contracts, your applications. And as we've seen in the past, when a network goes live and the ecosystem goes live, it's often one of the most exciting points for people involved in that community. So that's coming up on July 31st this year.
That's amazing. Adam, we wanted to thank you so much for your time. Radix is a project that we're excited about, and it was a pleasure to have you on to share some knowledge and bring the word out, because Radix, you know, you ask the average person Radix, they're like, what's Radix? And then you start explaining to them what it is, they're like, holy crap. At least that was experience for me. And so I think it's important for a solid project like yours to get the name out there. There are truly decentralized solutions out there for people. And so we're excited to spotlight and highlight your project on here. We look forward to bringing you on again, Adam, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Take care. Well, there you go. Some Radix Alpha for you guys. I'm telling you, if you're a DeFi person and you truly like decentralization, do some research on Radix, man. It's extremely impressive what they're doing. And so yeah.
And
also,
then big shout out to the Radix community that showed up. We see you guys in the chat. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. I saw a couple of people. We have Selvet, Jacob, RxRD, Devin, Nabil, Chronic with a 1 and as the I. We got Casper, Explorer, Cohen Van Prague, and Tibber Poser, Crypto Mania as well. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
And I'll just say one last thing about Radix. 6 cents, with a market cap of $689 million and a total max supply of 24 billion, 10 billion circulating, 6 cents. That's all I'll say. With that being said, make sure to follow all of our social medias. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're everywhere. And if you want to support the channel, feel free to support the channel. Speaking of supporting channels, today's show was brought to you by channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want more information, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. With that being said, Rocco,
What?
that was a wide tornado. Real
What is
wide.
it? What is it? Do it again. So bad.
I like that shirt, Rocco.
Thank you.
Crypto facts, huh?
Yeah.
Double
I don't
tornado.
know if you can read it.
Yeah.
Crossing tornado.
All about
Down
We've been
tornado.
we've been sitting in the same studio for the
Sideways
last
tornado.
4 hours while this guy spazzes out.
Sideways
I didn't even read your shirt.
tornado.
Oh,
As long as the tornado's here, man.
What is
Cue
wrong
the music.
with you?
Shut your mouth. Cue the music. Guys, thank you so much. Big shout out to Adam from Radix for joining us. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enjoy the outro music. Compliments of Cassius Cuvée. Until tomorrow.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya. City.